you are probably the least productive member of your district court, isn't that right?
Well, I have not considered myself in those terms, Senator.
In fact, you rank 7th highest nationally, do you not?
I am not familiar with those statistics, Senator Kennedy.
You haven't looked?
I did look in preparation for this hearing, but I didn't compare myself to others.
You haven't seen that you ranked the 7th the worst in the country?
The Senate confirmation hearing turned explosive when Senator John Kennedy grilled a Democrat judicial nominee over her abysmal past record. What was meant to be a routine hearing quickly escalated into a brutal takedown that left the nominee scrambling for answers. Senator Kennedy began by highlighting the nominee's shocking track record as one of the least productive judges in her district. He cited numbers showing she had declined to decide on 125 motions, more than any other district judge in the entire 7th Circuit. Nationally, she ranked among the worst. When Kennedy pressed her, she admitted she hadn't even compared her record to others. The senator made it clear. Litigants spend time and money in court, and her failure to move cases forward hurt real people. Let's dive right in.
You are the first to tell me this. And I think for me, I stress the quality of my decision-making. And as I explained, I came on. I was the first district judge to come on during this administration.
Yeah, but so were all the others. I mean, there have been 68 district judges confirmed in the 117th Congress. In terms of motions pending for more than 6 months, you rank number 3. You all came on at the same time. You all had the same problems with COVID. You're the 3rd worst. You really think of all the other district judges in the 7th Circuit, you're the one that ought to be promoted based on this record?
Senator, this is something that I've discussed with my fellow judges. Many of us new judges from...
I thought you said you'd never looked at these statistics.
I haven't, these particular statistics I am not familiar with. But in terms of new judges, both from the current administration and the former administration, we are quite a collegial bunch. And oftentimes talk about the pressures of a new judge and the way reassignments work in our district, which is that you get, for example, 300 cases.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I'm familiar with the procedure in federal court. Here's what I'm trying to understand. Why is your record so bad?
Well, I don't view it that way, Senator. When I look at the quality of my decision-making, the feedback that I get from parties,
of course parties are not going to criticize you. They want you to rule in their favor.
I understand, Senator Kennedy.
I mean, that's just the way it works. Help me understand why you have such an abysmal record in moving cases. I mean, it costs a lot of money to litigate, and people are paying lawyers, and time is money. And of all the district court judges in the 7th Circuit, you're the worst in terms of moving cases. Why do you think you deserve to be promoted over all of those others?
So, Senator, again, I'm not familiar with the statistics, but I stand by my record and that I give parties what they need. I think, I am regularly in my courtroom. I am regularly issuing decisions. I just came on at a very difficult time where there was a backlog in the courts.
So did everybody else. Let me ask you, when you were a partner in your law firm, you volunteered to write a brief on behalf of the Brady Center. You wrote the brief, and this is what you said. You volunteered for this. You weren't being paid. Is that right?
This was a pro bono case that one of my partners brought in, yes.
You said, quote, assault weapons may be banned because they're extraordinarily dangerous and are not appropriate for legitimate self-defense purposes, close quote. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Just to clarify, just to clarify there, I was local counsel. Our
Yeah,
Supreme
but you wrote the brief. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Senator Kennedy, actually, I did not write the brief. The brief was written by.
You signed the brief, though, didn't you?
Correct. I signed the
When you
brief.
sign a brief, you're testifying to the court that everything in it is true, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they're your words in terms of the court, right?
Well, you're correct, Senator Kennedy. I would never
Tell me
sign.
what you meant by assault weapons.
So I am not a gun expert, and at the time, that brief I think was about 10
You
years.
were giving the court advice about, say, ban assault weapons. What is? You told the court you were an expert. Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
Senator, sitting here today, as I said, I did not write that brief. I was local counsel.
Sign the brief.
I understand. At the time
Tell me what you wanted to ban. That's all I want to know, Judge.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons in the ordinance that was at issue.
So you submitted a brief to an appellate brief. You signed it, and you don't know what. And you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish.
Senator, at the time that I signed the brief, I read the brief because our Supreme Court required an Illinois bar member to sign the brief. I was not responsible for researching the content.
You were responsible for the brief. You signed it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sitting here today, I do not remember the characteristics of that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban. It's not an area of practice that I have specialized in. I'm sure 10 years ago I could have answered your question.
And
but
Judge,
sitting here today,
you think you
Senator,
deserve
your
to be
time has
promoted
expired.
with this record?
Senator, I stand by my record. I stand by my record.
Senator Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to you and your.
Senator John Kennedy's questioning was more than just a clash in a Senate hearing. It was a powerful demonstration of why oversight and accountability are essential to America's system of justice. At every turn, Kennedy cut through the spin, the excuses, and the evasive answers to reveal the cold, hard truth. This nominee was not fit for a promotion. He started with her record, exposing the undeniable reality that she was one of the least productive judges in her entire circuit, leaving critical motions unresolved while litigants spent money and time waiting for justice. Kennedy reminded everyone that justice delayed is justice denied, and he made it clear that those failures hurt real people, not just statistics on paper. When the nominee tried to defend herself, Kennedy held her to the same standard he would hold anyone seeking public trust. He refused to accept excuses. He reminded the chamber that dozens of new judges were confirmed under the same circumstances, yet she ranked among the very worst. Kennedy's persistence showed the American people that he would not allow incompetence to be rewarded. Then, when he turned to her past legal work, Kennedy revealed something even more alarming. She had signed a brief pushing for a ban on so-called assault weapons without even being able to define what those weapons were. For Kennedy, and for millions of Americans watching, this was not only irresponsible, but deeply troubling. If someone aspires to hold greater judicial authority, they must have both the knowledge and the conviction to stand by their own record. Kennedy's questions peeled back every layer of her answers until nothing was left but contradictions and uncertainty. His sharp, methodical style showed exactly why he is respected by many and feared by those who hope to skate by with half-truths and weak credentials. His message was clear. Our courts demand better.